Hi, everyone, and welcome back to White Coat Chronicles with me, Tori. So here we are, another week. It is currently Monday, April 14th. It's almost like 7 p.m. Honestly, I just woke up from a little nap, and I can't believe, we're just out here napping on Mondays. And from the title of this episode, yep, I did it. I quit my job. Today, I will be spilling the tea. Oh, so much tea, guys. Oh my gosh. This job was something else. It was something else, and we need to talk about it. But before we get into it, let's just do some updates and, of course, my favorite high-low piccolo. So today starts the first official just start of the week where I'm jobless. Hey, no income. But it's okay. It is all good. We started off the day. I don't know why. I've been loving, aka, the past couple days. I quit my job last Wednesday, but what I've been doing is kind of just waking up later. I used to be waking up at 5:45. Now I'm waking up at 8. And I just slowly get up. I am currently reading A Court of Mist and Fury. It's the second book in A Court of their, Thorns and Roses series, not theory. Anyway, I've been liking just waking up and going for my book and reading it. I don't know. I never am one to go on my phone as soon as I get up or before I go to bed, simply because I charge my phone on my desk, which is across the room. But I don't know, it wakes me up and I just feel so good, waking up, but still lying in bed. And this book is something else. I'm really, really obsessed. I think I said on one of the podcasts that I'm not a huge fan of A Court of Thorns and Roses. It just took a minute for me to get into it, but this book, it gets right into it, and it's so good. Thank God I have this book during this time. It's really keeping me going. So my gym is right by where I used to work, and it's 30 minutes away, but my membership isn't done until May. So we're gonna commute for the gym because I'm spending money on it. I might as well go. So we did that. So weird going to the gym at a different time, because normally I always go right after work from 5:30 to whenever I decide to call it quits. But today I went at 10:30, and I don't know, you're just I'm always used to seeing the same faces, but it was weird, a whole new group of people, but we'll adjust. And yeah, kind of just doing errands, some random things. It was beautiful today for the first time in a couple of days. So I got to sit outside. And my body was kind of just let's go back to sleep, and took a little nap, and here we are. Okay, high, low, piccolo. High of the week definitely is kind of just this overall weight off my shoulders I felt after I quit my job, and just yesterday, Sunday, no scaries. Really weird. Just I don't know. It feels like I'm on a break right now, and it's going to end soon, but this is how we're going to be until we go to medical school. So feeling super relaxed. There was a bit of anxiety around oh shit, what do I do now? What do I do with my days? But all of my friends and family have been giving me fabulous advice to just relax. Everyone's telling me Tori, you don't need to worry about stuff to do. Just enjoy this time. You're going to be in school for literally the rest of your life. So one extra month of relaxation is not going to kill you, and to enjoy it. So I'm really taking their advice, and I am enjoying it, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated to see how this goes. But for now, it's pretty new, and I am feeling really, really relaxed. Low, I would say there's definitely something lower than this low, but it's honestly all I can think of right now. Everyone in my family's sick, and I just fear that I will get sick because it's just how it works. They're all sick. I actually went to a doctor appointment with my dad today. Then we went to the radiologist after to get a chest x-ray and all this stuff. And just like, oh gosh, I always like bug about sickness, and not in like a hypochondriac way. Well, like obviously I hate being sick. I don't want to be sick, but I just get like really nervous when my parents get sick. I don't know. This is like a new thing for me, but I'm just like really not liking my dad's cough, and we need to put an end to it. So we're trying. Piccolo. I have 2 piccolos today. I am allowed to make an exception. I have 2 piccolos. So this weekend I went into the city to see Gabby and Sophia, my 2 college besties, and we went to Gabby's abroad friend's Hey Ichiro, his like birthday dinner, and then we went out to a place in Brooklyn, Public Records. Absolutely love it. Whenever we came back, Tori decided to order pizza. And let's just say Tori was not like very there when she was ordering the pizza. I, for some reason, like wanted pepperoni pizza. I also like am just getting like myself reintroduced to meat, so I'm just like laughing at that. But I don't know. I think I ordered it at like 1 pepperoni and then 1 plain. But then I'm like, wait, what am I don't think I did it right. So I gave my phone to Gabby. I'm like, can you order it? Basically, end of story. I ordered 3 pizza pies by accident. Large pizza pies. Like, come on, Tori. Like, $84 later. $84. So there were 4 of us eating the pizza, and we finished a pie, but there are 2 pies left. And the next day, I guess, I had to commute back, obviously, back home. And that involves taking the subway and then the train. And I was like, so what are we going to do with these 2 pies? Like, and my friends are like, well, you should probably take them. And I'm like, I know, I totally should. Like, I really, really should. And I just said, you know what? This is what happens when we make silly mistakes at like 3 a.m. We have to pay the consequences the next day. And the consequence for me was dragging 2 humongous pizza pies with my huge duffel bag with my super puff on. And it was like 60 degrees that day. The day that I went in, it was colder. Oh, through the subway. And then I stopped at my other friend's apartment, Kristen and Shannon's, to get my retainer because I left it there all week. That was a struggle, sleeping without my retainer. I love that little guy. So stopped there, and when I went in to get it, I think they thought I was like delivering food. I wasn't. Then walked to Grand Central from their apartment, and my clothes were drenched by the time I got home. And I left my car at the train station thinking, because my little sister told me like, you can do that. Came back to a ticket on my car, and I'm just like, oh my God. It was a funny scene to see. Maybe funnier if you were there for me. I don't know. But there's a little piccolo for you. Second piccolo, super random, but I actually met like the first person ever, I guess, through this podcast. Someone reached out to me that like listened to this podcast and was super into it and just like relating to medical school stuff. And he was in the area, so we got coffee. What day was it? Friday. And just kind of like chatted all things medical school. So that was kind of like nice and just like, whoa, I can't believe this podcast is reaching people. So it got me really happy. And yeah, now we're all caught up a little bit of a ways into this podcast now. We're going to get into it. I think I'm low-key like procrastinating talking about this. Like I could just chat about my whole week and like random experiences that I've had forever, but let's get into the tea, guys. Oh, I like get chills just talking about this. Okay, where do I start? I guess I'll start from this week. This Monday, I took off because I was sick, and I'm the only medical assistant there. So it's really like a hassle. When anyone takes off, there's 2 receptionists, the doctor, and me. That's it. It's a very small private practice. And I took off Monday, and when I got back Tuesday, I just like was getting the silent treatment from the doctor, and I found out that she was telling all of the patients and my coworkers like, oh, Tori's going to be in for a rude awakening if she can't even handle like a head cold and has to call out of work, and like just it's one thing if you tell my coworkers that, but the fact that you were like telling patients like, good luck in medical school for Tori. Am I right? Am I right? Like, ugh, hated that. Hated that. But whatever, it was getting silent treatment. And then there was like a part of the day where it was kind of dead. And we were all just like talking around the front. And the doctor was basically telling my coworkers how well everyone handled Monday and how it's really hard when one person calls out. But my two coworkers were great together and she's so proud of them. And just how important it is to work together as a team, blah, 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 blah. Like, in front of me. And I'm like, seriously? I took off one day, bro. But I went away. I just didn't say anything. I hid in the lab and was doing my syringes. And then my coworker comes in and she tells me that like the doctor just gave her money for doing my job basically on Monday. And I was like, no hate to my coworker at all. But I was just like, seriously? Like, what like mind games is she trying to play with me? Like the amount of times that all of us, like we've all stepped in to do each other's jobs. Like if someone was out or someone's at lunch and we're there, but I don't know. I just felt targeted, to say the least. So I went home that day just being like, fuck this shit. Like I can't deal with her. And we'll get into it. This is just like the most recent thing that happened. For any of my friends, there, you know, like there's a lot that has led up to this and I'll get into that. But this is just kind of to catch you guys up to where we are now. I came home and I was just like, oh my God, I'm done. Like, I can't believe, like, I can't be sick for a day at this place without getting so much shit and literally getting the silent treatment. Like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I'm done, I'm quitting. And then my dad is talking to him about it. And he's always like tough love, man. He's like, you know, it doesn't matter. Go into it. This is a job. Don't take things personal, yada, yada. So I was like, you know what? I'll take a piece of advice from him and just go in the next day because I would feel kind of just silly if I made the decision to quit based off of having like one bad day. So I went back in and I kind of treated that day, Wednesday, as my last day. I kind of just knew it. Like, I'm like, yes, I'm here another day and I'm going to like give it another shot in quotation marks, but I know what I have to do. I think I just wanted that day to like get closure. I had a Brita there. I had my sweatshirt. So I was like, let me get all my stuff. Let me say a really like proper goodbye to my coworkers. And that's what we did. And then I got back home. I texted her that night. Basically, let me actually get the text up. Where are you? Hold. Okay, here we are. I said, hi, Dr. So-and-so. After quite a bit of thought this week, I've decided that today is going to be my last day. I realize I no longer want to be part of this office under your direction. Thank you for the opportunity and good luck with everything. Oops. Now, before you start to curate your own opinions about the fact that I texted my boss to quit, let me just tell you, like, I'm not someone to do things this way. I really, honestly, am kind of bugging that I did it this way. But the way that things go on in this office, if I would have told her in person that I was quitting, she literally wouldn't let me. Like, she just wouldn't. She would probably fuck with my head because this is what this whole relationship is. It's a toxic relationship that I have with my boss. And she would have said, like, I'll pay you more, this and that, and probably convince me to stay. And it took a lot for me to get to this point this past Wednesday where I felt confident enough to quit. And I really didn't want that to be hindered by her just like bullshitting me, saying this and that, when it doesn't change how she treats me, and not just me, how she treats my coworkers, just how she treats her staff. And you can't expect to treat staff like shit and them coming back to work and doing things the proper way, like giving a 2-week notice. I think I was a little spiteful and didn't want to give a 2-week notice as well, but we did it that way. And she read the text message like a minute after it was sent, and she hasn't responded to me since. I've been at this job for 10 months. I work 4 days a week, 8 to whatever time she decides to let me out. And I did not receive a text back. Like, come on. Oh my God. So naturally, I have reached out to my coworker who's still there. And I'm just like, well, she knew everything that was going on. I actually told her Tuesday I was thinking of quitting, and she convinced me to come back in, as well as my dad. Wednesday, when I told her, even though she knew it was going to be harder for her whenever I left, she was like, I'm so proud of you, Tori. Like, you need to get out of here. So I'm still in contact with her, and I probably should stop asking her how the office is going because I'm just so curious and I do miss the patients, and like that was the one thing keeping me there. But she basically told me the day, I guess it was Thursday when I didn't go in, that apparently like she knew I was going to leave and she had a feeling, and people like me just take and they never give anything back, and apparently I just took from her. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I sound super spiteful right now, but I'm just explaining the story. The funniest tea is on Thursday, the day after I quit, the other receptionist also quit. Not like my bestie girl coworker. The other receptionist quit. So bye. You are now left with one person. She was left with one person. And this coworker, she has only been there for like 2 months, and she honestly, like, she was shit on the second day she was there. She saw the doctor's true colors the second day she was there, and what she was really upset about was that she wasn't getting what she wanted from this job. Like, she has a billing certificate that she went to school for and paid money for, and the doctor just like wouldn't let her bill. So she had her own reasons for leaving, as well as the bad treatment. And she's a 47-year-old mama, and we're actually going out for drinks next week. And I'm so excited to have a 47-year-old friend. Now, what's so funny is that the second day I ever worked there, July 2nd, everyone in the office quit. And it was just me and her grandson, her 16-year-old grandson, and her grandson's best friend from school. They were doing like an internship there. I don't know, whatever, working at the front. Nepotism, all that. Anyway, and I should have, like, that should have been my first sign. Like, why did everyone in the office quit? Basically, I found out later they were waiting for her to hire a new medical assistant, and then they wanted to leave. They all dipped. And patients have told me I've actually been the longest medical assistant there in the span of 3 years. And there's just a lot of early red flags that I chose to ignore because I did need this job. Like, this was my gap year job, and I'm not certified as a medical assistant. And there's few people that were hiring for that. I didn't want to go through the certification because by the time I got it, I would have been like halfway through my gap year, and I just wanted to work. So I was kind of just looking for places that didn't really care about that. Another red flag, though, like, a lot of red flags from the beginning, and now she's back to where she started with one coworker. And today was the first week. My coworker told me that she hired 2 new people, and the poor coworker that's left at the front is now training a medical assistant and a receptionist. God knows how. I need to reach out to her tonight. So that's kind of like just the recent of why I quit. I'm really kind of just like thinking to myself before I say all of this stuff, is this allowed? But I'm honestly like filing a complaint against her, and it's going to be known anyway. This woman's going to be on the news soon anyway, so I don't understand why I can't talk about it. So let's get into it. So this doctor, I'm obviously not going to say her name. I just feel like that's the right thing to do. But she is older and is like very much so older. Very impressive, honestly, that she's still practicing. But that also comes with a lot of downsides. There's a lot of cases where she like would forget which knee she was injecting or which shoulder, and I corrected her. A lot of forgetfulness, and if I didn't catch the mistake, patients would be harmed. So there's one thing. The biggest thing, I don't know if this is the biggest thing, but a huge part of this unethical practice for me was the drug prescriptions that we gave. Oh, guys, this is really bad. So she's a pain management doctor. And for a while, I like did research into this. Oxy and Percocet were prescribed pretty often for people like just in pain, but then a lot of regulations were placed, and now everyone knows like they're just terrible drugs to be on. She apparently got rid of a lot of the like patients that were on Oxy and Percocet over the years, but she still had quite a few left when I worked there. And there is definitely a different caliber of patients here. It was an extremely wealthy area, and lots of the patients were like big money people. And then on the flip side, we also had patients on workers' comp that have had like injuries at work, and they were getting drugs as well. And yeah, there was, I guess, diverse array of people on these drugs, but the ones that stuck out to me the most were the ones with money. And now this isn't just like money where I can see that they're like wearing nice clothes. Like, no, this doctor has done her research, and she knew like how much money this person had in this stock and how much money this person's were. So like she knew. And basically with the drugs that these people would be on, you have to get urine samples, or you have to do urine samples every so often, just check their liver and everything else, because these drugs have extreme side effects. And I would do the urine samples, and for patients that I guess just appeared and she knew didn't have as much money, she would be very adamant about the urine samples. Did you take their urine, Tori? Did you take their urine? Did you take their urine? I'm like, yes, don't worry, I did. However, there were some patients that she was close with or just rich, and anytime I said, oh, I'm going to take so-and-so's urine, she said, no, don't put them through that. They don't need to do that. They don't need to do that. Which is illegal, like extremely illegal. And so sad to see, guys. And look, I know a common theme of this episode today is like, I know no doctor's perfect. And I'm honestly really scared, like shitting on this doctor, because there's a lot of things that we don't see that go on behind closed doors. I just feel the need to talk about this, and I experienced it firsthand working there, and it's sad to see how much money talks. Even just like the rush to get into certain patients that she knew would like complain if she was late, but yet she knew certain patients were very patient and would wait. But, you know, if they were our big, like high profile VIP patients, oh my gosh, drop everything and go to them. It's just money talks. And in terms of prescribing drugs, money talked for that as well. Another part. A lot of the procedures we did in that office were covered by insurance, but a lot of them were not as well. A lot of the regenerative therapy that we did was all out of pocket. So like platelet-rich plasma, or PRP, that is actually where you use the person's own blood to heal whatever area you're trying to repair, any tears in shoulders and knees. You could do PRP in a lot of places. It's actually awesome. But that was a big chunk of money. And PRP, because it's using the body's own immune response and inflammatory response, is very dependent on a person's age. That's not to say it doesn't work when you're older, but it is dependent. And there comes a time where like you could there's only so many PRPs that you can do and without seeing results. We have a lot of geriatric patients, a lot of patients like in their 80s, 90s. And it's so sad because lots of these patients are coming in with aides or like companions that they're with 24/7 that their family is paid for. And they're really not in their right mind space to make decisions. I just have this one patient in particular that like when I was taking her blood, I'm like, oh, are you okay? Is this good? And like just nothing, like nothing in the eyes, nothing going on back there. But like her physical body was still working, but her mind just wasn't. And for that patient in particular, we did 2 PRPs, and that came out to be like $1,400. And this patient had no idea what she was doing, guys. Like I had her sign something for consent, and like it's so sad, so sad. Like a lot of these patients have medical funds that their family has set up for them for like emergencies, or just obviously when you retire and get older, you have a certain amount of money set aside for medical bills. And the patients obviously have the autonomy to make the decisions, but is this decision really theirs? Is this decision highly influenced by the doctor because she knows they'll pay? I don't know. I'm just putting that thought out there. Next big category, I guess, is insurance. I will start this statement by saying I'm super, super grateful and happy I got to learn how much of a role insurance plays in healthcare. Everyone knows like insurance equals paid for doctor's appointments. I don't know how you would associate insurance right now, but I have such a different understanding of it than I did before going into this job. And it's sad how much of an influence insurance has on the care patients get. They are the ones making the decisions in the end. It's really sad. Like patients that need MRIs get denied over and over again, and they need these MRIs, but for some reason their insurance isn't approving them. And it was a big part of the practice because since there was so little people, everyone kind of had their hands in her billing and like in insurance, and like she would have me do random things for insurance that I knew I shouldn't be doing, going in under logins that I knew I shouldn't be doing, but she didn't know how to do it. She wasn't very like computer literate, so I would be doing a lot of the stuff for her. And it just sucked. It sucked because I knew I shouldn't have been doing this, but like what am I supposed to say? No, I would have gotten fired, who knows? And she is switching to concierge where she's not taking insurance anymore. And she's telling all the patients it's because insurance sucks, blah, 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 which is true. But it's also a lie. She is switching to concierge because she is getting sued by an insurance company for reasons unknown. Like, I think I know, but who knows? And she's going to be on the news for it. This doctor is going to be on the news, and she's in a deep, deep lawsuit. None of her patients know. And it's just kind of sad to like, not sad, just frustrating, I guess. I mean, no doctor's going to want this to get out. Like, I get it. You don't want your patients to know. It's hard to like continue practicing, especially when you're on your own and you're getting sued. But this is a very big insurance company that is suing her. And she kind of was just telling all the patients, like, yeah, I'm going to concierge because insurance isn't paying for your care. Like, they're not allowing me to treat you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, girl, stop bullshitting. Like, if only they knew. If only they knew. And I am really, really awaiting the day for her to come out on the news. And I guess maybe I could be more public about it then. I don't know. But karma's a bitch is all I can say. So that was a lot, yeah. There's a lot, guys. That's kind of like more of the logistical stuff, let alone just how I was treated. I feel like as pre-med students, we are kind of taught to like put up with doctors, you know, we're going to go through a shit time in medical school and residency, and we need to learn how to be strong and push through, and I get that, and I'm all for that. I will put up with things that I probably don't want to a lot whenever I'm in medical school, but not this type of way. Like this woman telling me like I'm not gonna do well, this woman like, oh, she like, yeah, sorry, I'm just like at a loss for words. I'm still like processing all of this, honestly. I wanted to do this episode after I had my therapy sesh with my girl and we talked about it, but she was on vacation and we're not having therapy till Friday. So maybe I'll have an update after that. And I also just want to be careful about how I'm talking about this after I literally just said that she was getting sued by an insurance company, but how she treated me, it was just toxic. Like it was mostly bad. And if it was ever good, I would be like on a high, like, oh my gosh, yay, she likes me. But I think I just had this like fear of her, and I was a different person in that office. Like I would say I'm fairly confident and like know how to stand up for myself. I was like a little mouse to this doctor. I don't know, the hold that she had on me. It's just crazy. And it was a lot of mind games and just shit talking behind backs, trying to get coworkers against each, or like put coworkers against each other. Oh, this is a story. I'm like laughing thinking about this day. Ugh, hated her this day. So my like bestie coworker does a lot for this office, and she's still there. And she just kind of has like a different tie to this office than I do or did. And she kind of reached a point a couple weeks ago where she's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing 3 jobs at once and getting paid for one? Why am I this doctor's like personal assistant, picking up calls from anywhere at 5 in the morning to like 8 p.m. at night? And she was just like in a really kind of rough spot a couple weeks ago. Just something like clicked in her brain, and she's like, I'm gonna be salty. Like, I'm gonna be salty, and she's gonna realize that like if she doesn't have me in this office, literally like nothing would get done, which is true. Like, this girl does so much for the doctor. So throughout that day, I was just like, girl, are you okay? Like, anytime we were alone, I'm just like, keep up with it. Like, me and her we were like one of the longest employees to stay there, which is not a lot. Both of us were there less than a year. But we were kind of just in it together and like trauma bonding. And I don't know, I guess the doctor like picked up on the girl's vibe, and she saw that I was like going up to her between patients and just kind of being like, are you okay? Like, I'm going to get Starbucks. Do you want some? Just like trying to make her happier. And the doctor like tapped me out of nowhere and does the classic pointer finger out, come here motion, which is never good. And she pulls me into her office, closes the door, and was like, Tori, what are you doing to coworker's name? You know, I don't know what's going on between you two, but she's on a very thin line, and I feel like she's going to quit soon, and we can't have her quit. So whatever you're saying or doing to her, please stop. Oh my God. Don't get me started. And I literally was saying, yes, my coworker's upset. I'm trying to see if she's okay. And she goes, well, you're not helping. You know, you're really not helping. So whatever it is going on between you two. And I'm like, girl, there is nothing going on between us. I obviously didn't say that because I'm a pussy, but I just stand there and nod. That's something I got very, very comfortable doing, standing and nodding. Because no matter what I say to this woman, she only hears what she wants to hear. And there's a lot of people like that, and I'm still learning how to deal with that, but she thought I was fighting with her. Like, oh my God, open your eyes. It's you. It is you. Ugh, that was so frustrating. I was just like, how dare you? Like, me and this coworker are close. Like, I drive her places, and like, I don't know. I was just like, seriously? Ridiculous. Just trying to pin everyone against each other. Like, that's not how you have a functioning office, especially when there's only 4 people in the office. We had the potential of being like such a close, tight-knit office and workspace, but she didn't allow for that. Anytime there was like a break and I would be up talking with the receptionist, if we would like laugh or talk too loud, she would come out of her office and say, is this kindergarten? Do I need to watch you guys? Can we please do work? Like, oh my God. Crazy, guys. Just crazy. So I think I'm going to kind of just wrap it up here. I'm getting heated. I knew I was going to get heated in this podcast episode, but we're kind of coming close to our time. I don't want to go super over like 30 minutes, but there's obviously a lot of emotion still. This is pretty fresh, but what better place to talk about it than on here, just getting the word out. And I guess my disclaimer is that like, I could have handled this better and maybe like waited it out longer. If I said that to any of my friends or family, they'd be like, no, we've been telling you to get out of there for a long time. But I kind of feel like a quitter. I mean, I am a quitter. I quit my job, but it's just not something I normally do. And if anything, that should just tell you how crazy this situation was. And I'm obviously not mentioning names or anything, but I mean, who's listening to this? Like, I think I'll be fine, but this is real, guys. This is all real, and definitely felt the need to share, kind of just like recapping. Money talks in healthcare way more than I thought. It's sad. It's a sad reality, but I've learned what I want to do differently from this doctor. Obviously, there's a lot of ego involved with doctors, and I mean, I could say I'm going to be one, like, but I think almost everyone would agree with me. They've encountered at least one doctor with a huge ego. I just happened to work for one for 10 months. And it was hard. It was a great experience. I wouldn't change it. I would never like go back and not take this job. I'm so glad I did. I've learned so much. And honestly, it was great for like med school interviews to talk about just different patient encounters and how I handle certain things. And that brings me back to like the patients. Like, I'm going to miss them. Like this one patient, there's a lot of patients I'm going to miss. And I kind of talked to them towards the end. I'm like, I don't know how much longer I'll be here. And some of the patients that have been going to her a long time know the vibe. And they were like, please don't leave. Like, she always gets new people. Please don't leave. And I'm like, there's a reason everyone leaves. And they're like, I know, tell me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell you. But miss the patients. Feel really bad for my coworker that's still there. But like I said, she has different motivations. She's getting the bag and some other things while she's at it. I think I'm going to text her after this though and ask her how today was training 2 people. Like, that's absurd. And she's not getting paid for that. But yeah, that's that, guys. Here I am, jobless. I'm going to be saving a lot of money and trying to be smart with it. But I also have quite a good amount saved since I live at home, and all I really do is go out on the weekend, and that's like it. Have been shopping a lot. I don't know. I'm feeling okay money-wise. Maybe I'll get a part-time job somewhere. On my mind right now, I kind of want to work at Barry's, like at the front. If I work somewhere else before I go to med school, I want it to like benefit me. So like if I work at a gym or Barry's, like I'll get free classes. I kind of want that vibe. And I'm traveling. I'm actually going to DC with my dad in a couple of days, and I kind of want that to be my vibe for the rest of this time. Relaxing, traveling, nothing too extravagant, but just doing things I've been wanting to do, finishing books, spending time with family. And that's where we're at. I need to get better with not having a lot to do, and literally like I know my future self is going to hate me saying like, oh my gosh, like I hate not having anything to do. And my future self's going to be like, girl, we're up every night studying, like enjoy this. So I'm really trying to channel my future self and just enjoy this relaxing time now. But that is the update. I quit my job and here we are. Now you know why. But thank you for listening another week, and we'll be back, guys. We will be back next week with another episode. Until then, have a fabulous week, and you'll hear from me soon. Okay, bye.